Alright, so now I'm back, and let's talk about previously we talked about the web role in Azure. Now let's switch over and we're going to talk about the worker role. So, alright. So here's a basic worker role. Let's see, it's a little bit bigger. Alright, so as you can see, I've got my worker role, and I've got these namespaces. And this is actually going to become fairly involved here in a little bit with some other pieces. So first off, let's see. Actually, let's start here. So when the worker role starts up, this is the code that's called. So this is similar to the web role CS file that we've got over in the web role. We're doing a lot of the same things. Okay, when there's some kind of configuration change, then we're going to recycle this instance. Now, the next piece is, let's walk through. Whoop. Should not have closed that up. So that was where I actually did want to be. Sorry about that. Now, expand this guy. This is where I want to be at. Okay. Now, I've got trace right line. Something interesting is happening here. But we'll talk about that when we actually talk about the Visual Studio tools. But as you can well imagine, this information is going to be saved somewhere, and it will be. Then let's continue on. We're looking at the creation of a couple of containers for images if they don't already exist. Then we've got a big loop here. And this big loop is going to wake up every, in this case it's just hard-coded to 10 seconds, and when that 10 seconds is up, we're going to execute the code that's inside this loop. So let's just walk through what's happening here. So the first thing I'm going to go do is I'm going to go get a list of the blobs that are out there. Okay? Then I'm going to go and I'm going to create, for every blob that's out there, I'm going to go get a reference to it, and then I'm going to fetch the attributes. Okay? After I get those attributes, I'm going to create a file entry, and a file entry is just literally, it's just a simple class that I've created. Okay? Got a couple of things. Basically, it's some metadata. And there's our friend Elisha again. So he's going to be featured now twice. Now, the next thing I'm going to go do is, remember what the application is doing. It's taking the input JPEG, and then it's outputting a PNG file. So if there is no PNG file metadata associated with this JPEG, then we need to go and create that PNG file. And that's what's happening here. So I create a blob based on, here's the current file. Okay. Grab that. Then I've got an image converter class. Now I'm not going to state that I created this image converter. I didn't. It's just a simple image converter. It's going to take data in a JPEG format, and a bunch of bytes in a JPEG format, and it's going to output them in a PNG format. So, but here's the cool stuff. I go and I've created this byte array for my existing set of my existing image. Sorry, and then I'm going to convert that. Okay, and right now we're just hard coded to handle JPEG to PNG, and we've got a set of bytes that represent our PNG image. Then I'm going to create a new file name, and we're then going to go create a new container, and then we're going to upload our bytes into that new cloud blob. Okay, we're going to set a little bit of metadata, and then we're done. So now we've got a new file, and obviously, bang, we'll see this information out here shortly. And then we're just going to loop through that. And notice that if we've already got a PNG, then we're not going to go create this. So hopefully, if we've done everything right, then we just get this one at a time. So I'll show you this again. I'm not going to try and spell that. I'm just going to put flower. And then once again, it's submitted by Wally M. Now we've got our JPEG version of that file, and here in a few seconds we should have a PNG version of that file. And bang, there is the PNG file. And I think that is, very cool. It's a very simple, actually, example of what you can do with a worker role using blob storage in Azure. And I think that's very cool stuff. So, all right, folks. Thanks. And next time I should be talking about some of the new coolness that I found in the tools in Visual Studio. Thanks.